Do you see this? This is my June TBR and it's an ambitious pitch. Look at it. Oh, some are for literary purposes. I just bought them for literary purposes. The others are all fiction. And A Way of Kings is like, I'll have to continue into it, a few hundred pages left. And this is the Penelopiad by Margaret Atwood. Then I have the Blue Umbrella by Ruskin, which are two novellas. The others are contemporary fiction. And I have literary work by, or whatever his name is, I have to delve into it. The others are Dilly and The Girl Who Drank the Moon. So let's get started with the description. First off, I have the Penelopiad by Margaret Atwood, and it is a novella. It says, myths are universal and timeless stories that reflect and shape our lives. They explore our desires, our fears, our longings, and provide narratives that remind us what it means to be human. The Myths series brings together some of some of the world's finest writers, each of whom has retold the myth in a contemporary and memorable way. Authors in this include, the names of the authors are written, and I'm looking forward to it because it is based on Odysseus' wife, and I'm literally into Greek mythology and everything. It's about Odysseus' wife, who is Naiad's daughter, and some king's daughter too, and the father wants to kill her, and he drowns her based on some prophecy, but the prophecy doesn't come true. Instead, it works on her father-in-law, and I'm quite excited to read it. Next up, we have the most popular book in the entire fantasy kingdom, and this is The Way of Kings by Sanderson. This is the first book in the Stormlight Archive series, and it follows two main characters, Kaladin and Oshallan. Kaladin is an unsung hero, you can say. First of all, he was Stormblessed, and later on he became a slave, and this revolves around his story, how he became a slave and his trials and tribulations, and how he fights with honor, as well as that follows another person who is Dalinar. Dalinar is one of my favorite characters because he's too by the book, and I love characters who are by the book, and they ultimately win in the long run in the strife. So this follows a strife between two kingdoms, the Elathi and the Parshanti, and it's a magical fantasy trope and multi. I've heard a lot about this novella. This is a short story by Ruskin, and it's about a little girl and her blue umbrella. So quite excited to read it too. Next we have, what do we have? We have the Kiss Quotient. The Kiss Quotient is I've heard a lot of things about it. I want to go into the book without knowing even about a single character, so that I don't get depressed later on. Next up, we have this The House in the Cerulean Sea. I wanted to start light-hearted books in this TBR because I had been in a reading slump, you guys. I couldn't read anything during this pandemic, this whole thing. So I want some light-hearted. I don't know. It's about a guy who is in his 40s, and he's invited to this magical palace, as you can see, and it's on the Cerulean Sea. So quite excited to read it. Okay, another enemies to lovers trope, and this is the Tweet Cute. So this is about two restaurants. They are fighting over this. So somebody steals someone's idea, and then they meet each other. They're fighting on tweets. So this is Tweet Cute, and I'll start another romance drama. Then we have Fangirl. Again, going into it knowing absolutely nothing about it. Then we have Beach Read. I have made an entire vlog on it. If you want to watch, then you can go tune into the vlog. It's about two authors, and one is a serious author and the other is it's a hopeless romantic. The names are quite funny though. The name of the guy is Augustus, and he's known as Gus. The female protagonist is January. So January and Gus, they initially they are rivals. They fight over something which is very petty, and authors generally do that. So I'm quite excited to read it. Next we have a collection of poems, so I decided to go for poems. It's been long I hadn't written any kind of poetry. I used to write a lot as a kid, but now I'm just out of touch, so I want to get in touch with literary poetry of the... which century is it? Which century is it? Wait, let us see. It's set in 1858, so I'm quite excited to read this as well. Next up we have The Girl Who Drank the Moon. It's about a girl, and she's born and she's taken away by a witch, and she's fed the moon. I think she'll be fed with magical powers as well. The witch transfers some of her magical powers to this girl, and it will be revolving around the story. Quite excited. The next is Dillycott's Nettie's Secret. So Nettie's secret is, she is the sole breadwinner of the family. Her father is irresponsible. She is a seamstress and she puts food on the table, but her father has trusted the wrong person. Also, please do not forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe.